Hey everyone.
Hey everyone, it's Melissa.
I'm Doug.
And this is Doug and Oliver. I have brought you here for a reason.
Yeah?
And he doesn't know what it is.
I have no idea.
The public has spoken.
Okay. Take my shirt off? I'll do it.
The public has spoken.
I already have my pants off, it doesn't matter.
The public has spoken about you doing a coffee making video.
Okay.
So what they want you to do is we're going to show how you roast coffee, your whole process of how you roast your coffee, how you buy your beans, why you roast it, the different kinds you do, and then show you making a cup of coffee, grinding it up and making a cup of coffee. Does that sound okay to you?
Okay.
I quit counting when I got 197 people asking to see your coffee video. I have a few dedications.
Okay.
Okay. One of them is dedicated to Rita. Her sub-name on Instagram is Runs on Coffee.
Oh.
So she wanted to see it. And Twinkle Mom and Twinkle Dad, because they may get started doing coffee themselves after they see this video. So
Well, they'll be happy they did.
these videos are dedicated to you all. This video is dedicated to you all. So thank you so much for watching. Let's go downstairs. You ready? You ready to do this?
Well, do you want to talk about it any?
Okay, do you think, okay, I think we talk about it when we film it, don't we?
Well, I'm sitting down now. Let's see.
Okay, all right.
What do you want to know?
Well, they want to know.
Why do I do it?
Why do you do it?
It tastes better.
Okay.
Back in the late 80s, we got hold of some good coffee somehow. And I said, boy, this sure tastes different from...
It was up in Knoxville at a UT football game. Yeah, before that.
Well, not at the game.
No, before we went to a game, we stopped at that little store.
And so we started looking at it, and it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Different from any I'd ever had. I always worked midnights in hotels when I was going through school, so I drank a pot of bad coffee every night. and I had a Mr. Coffee, you know, at home. But it was mostly just to wake you up.
Mm-hmm.
This was really good, and it was from a store that roasted their beans right there. And you could buy a pound at a time. They would roast it right there to order. And of course that was 60 miles away, and you had to go to a store to get it. So.
And we did for a while.
And then I had seen, then I got a little roaster for home. It didn't do much at a time, just 3 ounces I think, but we did it anyway. And then we bought our beans from that place in Knoxville, and then also there was a place in Oak Ridge where they make atomic bombs.
It was atomic coffee.
They had the green beans, and that was good.
Yeah.
And then kept getting better roasters as I liked. That would do a little more. And finally got a little air roaster, about $100, and that lasted a long time.
That reminded me of a popcorn popper.
Yeah, kind of. But it'd go around, and the air would blow it around and cook it. And that was real good. And then with the advent of the internet, I found a place called SweetMarias.com. They were in Ohio at the time.
I'll link their website below.
And he sold lots and lots of different green coffees, and he actually flies all over the world and talks to the farmers, and he has lots of connections because he gets them a great price for their coffee by buying directly from the farmer or the co-op that they're with, and so they are excited to sell to him, so he gets all the best stuff that he's already.
So he's already made his contacts, and stuff.
And so they know they're going to get a lot better price selling directly to him than they will anywhere else. So.
What an interesting job he has.
Yeah, he has videos and stuff of trips he's taken.
Yeah.
And then he's moved to Oakland, California now because it's closer to where the shipping containers come in. And that's where to go, for you to go to if you want to try home roasting and get an inexpensive roaster. They sell popcorn roasters, but at least spend $120 and get a roaster and get some beans and try them for yourself. It's easy to make. You don't need a fancy brewer or anything.
What do you use to make your coffee? Because we have that bronzy thing that's fancy, that looks real Victorian, that's this big, and you used it for a while. Why do you not use that, and why do you not use a French press?
Well, I used a French press for a long time, and it makes really good coffee. You have to get your grind just right so it doesn't get a lot of sediment, but you don't want it too big to where it won't brew right, extract. But I found out that my triglycerides were really high. And my cholesterol was normal. And I was reading and saw that there was a link between coffee, fresh brewed coffee, having all these oils in it that raise your triglycerides. So I said, but that a coffee filter takes those out. So I went to filtered, and it did. My triglycerides went down about 30%.
They do.
And the taste is a little different, but it's not worse.
It's still just
Yeah,
as
it's still
good.
good.
Yeah.
And so I got a good machine, the brewing machine. That the temperature of the water is real important, and so it brews at exactly 195 degrees, which you should, or 200. It should be brewed between 195 and 205 to extract it properly. And that's the problem with the Mr. Coffees and most coffee machines, including Cuisinart and all them, they don't get hot enough.
Oh, okay.
That's why they taste.
Okay, so they need to get hot enough.
Yeah, but not too hot. So then I just went to a simple Chemex, which you'll show in a minute. It's just real simple, about $30, and you put a filter in top, and you just pour the water over with it.
It's like a glass pitcher, isn't it?
Yeah, out of a tea kettle. And we got a tea kettle that tells you the temperature, and you can preset the temperature, and it will hold it at that temperature. So that has been real handy. There's lots of little simple brewing gadgets that they sell at sweetmarias.com that are good. The clever coffee dripper. There's lots of little ways.
Okay.
Now I used to have I still have, what do they call that? It was from a patent in 1810 or something. Some guy in Europe, I'm not sure where, he makes them.
Are you talking about the one we have downstairs? Yeah.
It's made of copper, and
The copper one. I'll insert a picture
they
of
put
it.
heat under the
Yeah.
tin-lined copper, and then it would go in it. It's a vacuum brewer.
You made coffee out of it
Yeah,
one
it's
time,
real good.
and I'm going to insert a picture of it so you can
It's
see
a-
what it looks like.
It's a
We still got it
a
downstairs.
vacuum brewer, and then when the water gets hot enough, it goes through a tube into the coffee, and then when that starts cooling, the vacuum sucks it back into the boiler, and that makes real good coffee. But that's like a French press that you're not filtering out any of the
Oh,
oils.
okay. Is that why you quit
So that's why
using
I
it?
quit
Okay,
using it.
okay. I
I
understand.
might use it on special occasions sometimes because it's fun to watch.
It is. And like at Christmas,
Yeah.
it's fun to brew it like that.
But it's just better coffee, and you can get really good coffee for $4 or $5 a pound. That would be $15, $20 in a specialty store. But they're real expensive, and they've been roasted weeks before and roasted too dark, and you spend a lot more money. So you can save money doing it yourself and get much better coffee. Once you get in the hang of it, it's not any big deal.
Yeah, you sort of have set aside your time. that you-
Habit,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do it.
So thank you. Bye.
So let's go make some coffee, okay?
Okay, let's go over. Hey, I'm getting ready to roast some coffee now. Here's my roaster. It'll roast a half pound. This was a pretty nice roaster that cost a little bit, but I got that a few years ago, but for many years I just used an inexpensive roaster, which if you were interested in roasting, that would probably be where you want to start. You can get them for under $150.
Where do you order it from?
From sweetmarias.com, and they explain with videos and everything how to use them and all the different ones they have. And you save money in the long run because you get real good fresh coffee for much less than you can buy roasted coffee in the store. And all of it's going to be better than anything you can buy anywhere, and it's going to be really fresh. But I got this because it roasts a lot at one time, and you have a lot of control over it.
What's the name of it?
That's a hot top, but that would be overkill for a beginner.
Okay.
Anyway, you put your coffee in here, up here at the top, and then you turn it on and set your program, and has a fan in it, and then you can watch the coffee going around in the drum there.
Okay.
And then it dumps out into here, and it has a cooling fan in it to cool the coffee when you're done.
Okay. Go take it out now? Oh, okay.
No, I'm just getting it ready to roast.
Okay.
So that's what I do now.
Okay.
Okay, now I brought the roaster outside because it smokes a lot and you don't want to do it inside. So plug it in, and then, excuse my clothes, I've been mowing.
They're not seeing him.
Turn it on.
Move that chair. Okay.
I forgot this collects the chaff that comes off the coffee.
Okay, where do you get your beans?
Sweetmarias.com.
May we see what they look like? And what kind do you get?
I have all different kinds. This is an Ethiopian. I have 4 different kinds of Ethiopian right now.
So do the beans always look like that, or do they look different from each other?
Yeah, the wet process always looks like this, kind of green, and the dry process will be more brownish looking.
Okay.
But
and they come in like burlap bags, don't they?
Uh-huh.
We'll show you a picture of them.
Well, they come in plastic bags, and I put it in burlap.
Why do you put them in burlap?
So they can breathe.
Okay, you want the beans to breathe. The raw beans?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Well, then I first have to let it get up to speed.
What do you want to get up to?
Well, it tells me about 170.
Okay.
Man, okay, I messed up.
Okay.
I'm doing it upside down.
You can turn around if you want to.
It's alright. It's preheating now,
Okay.
and I'll put it in when it tells me to.
Okay.
At 170 degrees,
Okay.
and then it'll heat until they start cracking. First crack,
Okay.
and then how you finish it will go after that, how much you want it cooked.
Okay.
But I never cook them where they're oily and black because that takes all the flavor out of it.
Okay.
But I do like them to go into second crack usually, or up close to it. Or if you drink your coffee black, you might like it less than second crack.
Well, I don't know. We don't know what that means. Let me stand up.
Once it gets up to a higher temperature after first crack, if you let it keep
What's
going,
a crack? What's first crack and
it
second?
makes a crack.
Okay.
And,
Where they're cracking open when they roast?
Not cracking open, it's just a process that
Okay.
goes through a chemical change. And then if you keep going, it'll go into second crack, which is not as loud as first crack.
But that means it's darker? It's roasted longer?
Yeah, it'll be darker.
Okay.
And if you let it go much past that, you're going to get burnt and black and oily.
And you don't want
And
that?
it just tastes like charcoal,
Okay.
like Starbucks. And then, but if you drink your coffee black and really get into the different kinds, you'll experiment and see where you like it.
Okay, it's making that noise. That means what, Doug?
It means it's preheated. It's 170 degrees.
Okay.
And so I put my half pound of beans in.
That's a half pound of beans?
It'll hold a little more, but just pour it in. And it'll go into first crack when it gets up to about 400.
I thought it was just going to get to 170.
No, that's when it's preheated.
Okay. How long will it take to get to first crack?
Oh, 8 or 10 minutes, I think.
Okay.
I've not timed it.
All right. Well, so you sit here like this for
Yeah.
until first crack. Okay. We'll be back then.
It's going into first crack now at 394 degrees. If you put it up close to it, you might hear it. Put it up here. So it sounds a little like popcorn, but it's not quite as loud. Then we'll let it go on past that. After first crack finishes, we'll let it go another minute, minute and a half. That will be full city.
What's full city?
That's about a minute, minute and a half past first crack, but before it gets to second crack.
So y'all got your own lingo, don't you?
Yeah, that's the different degrees of doneness.
Okay.
City, City Plus, Full City. Oh, there's some before that. I forget. Never mind. Okay, first crack is ended. It's at 405 now, so I'm going to turn the heat down so the heating element will go off, so it'll not heat up as fast and go into towards second crack a little slower to slow it down.
Why do you want to do that?
This makes it taste better.
Okay. How do you learn all this? How can folks learn to do all this? I mean, this sounds very complicated.
I've been doing it for
20-something.
89, yeah, 25, over 25 years. But Sweet Maria's has videos and everything.
And that's how you just studied and learned how to do it?
Uh-huh.
It just sounds very complicated. I never learned how to do it.
Those air roast machines, they're pretty simple.
Okay, now why is it beeping?
Because it got to 410 degrees, it's warning me.
Okay, so what are you doing now?
Well, it's been about a minute, so I'm going to turn it back up.
Why?
Let it start getting close to second crack.
So you ease into second crack?
Yeah. Well, when you start getting up close to it, I can turn it back up. You can do it any way you want to. You just find what you like and different things. Those air roasters, you just do it for a while and then you.
Is that what you have, an air roaster?
No.
Oh.
That's the more inexpensive ones are.
Okay.
That's where someone would start.
Okay.
Also, you can do it with a hot air popcorn machine, but I would advise getting the $150 machine.
Okay.
All right,
What are you doing now?
I'm gonna stop it. It's been a couple minutes since first crack.
Okay.
So I'm gonna eject it. They come out and that arm goes around and the fan cools it.
Smoke's coming out. You can't see it, but smoke is coming out.
And then when it's in 5 minutes, it will shut itself off.
Is a fan going on it? Is that what it's moving around?
There's a fan underneath it. That's just keeping it agitated. That's an agitator.
Okay, and that's what it looks like. It's dark and very pretty, isn't it?
Yeah, this would be called Full City Plus.
It's kind of dark. I hope they can see it.
Well, maybe we can show it later in the light. So that's it. It's done now.
It's done?
Yeah.
As soon as it turns itself off, it's done, and you can roast a cup if you want to.
Uh-huh.
Do you advise letting it sit a little bit, or do you roast right away?
Sitting a little bit. But,
how long's a little bit?
But if you do it right now, it's still going to be better than anything you can buy.
Well, how long would you advise letting it sit?
Next day.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. And some coffees, it's best to let them sit 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
it's still going to be good first day.
Okay.
And you know, $4 or $5 a pound for really good coffee. So it's about half the price of, or even less of what you might buy.
In the grocery?
Yeah, or at a specialty shop even. So.
Okay, we'll look at it when you get it all out.
All right. Okay. Now I've brought the coffee in.
Can I have one?
Uh-huh.
They're so good to eat.
Yeah, this is definitely Full City Plus. It's dark, but there's no oil on it. It's still brown and not black. It never did go into second crack, but it was getting up close to it. So.
And they're good to eat raw like that.
So. Smells good. Smells real good. So that's it. Now I'm going to show you a fascinating video how to make coffee with a Chemex. They sell these at Sweet Maria's and they've got videos of how to do it, but you can watch me do it. You get your grinder, and I'm just going to make 2 cups. A smaller Chemex would do this better, because the one I'm using is for making larger quantities actually. But I don't have one here at the house. So you got your coffee in the grinder. Then you want some water. I'll get some. Then I get my water, and usually I measure it out in my coffee mug, which is, you know, a big thing like this. But it's in the dishwasher right now, so I'm going to use this thing. Will this work? Will this little hot thing?
Yeah, I've made tea in it before.
So I'll use filtered water. This is our water filter. I'm just filled it up to here because I don't want a full cup. I'm going to put it in the teapot. Now you can just boil water on the stove if you have to, and after it boils, then wait 30 seconds and it should be down to 205 by then, but you might have to reheat it again. So this one has a temperature gauge. It's 75 now, but when it gets to 205 it'll stop. I have it on hold right here, so it'll hold it there. So then I run hot water. There's some crud in this thing, Melissa. And I preheat my cup and my brewer, just so it'll be hot and not cool the coffee off. I like hot coffee. And there. Then I grind the beans. Okay. Grind my beans. You do need to get a grinder. And now the water is at 205 while I was grinding. Then I pre-wet the filter because you can get a paper taste. These Chemex filters are kind of thick, so you can get a paper taste if you don't rinse it out first.
You get a paper taste?
Yeah. All this is on Sweet Maria's, so. And they have other kinds too. This is just the one I'm using. I have a the Clever coffee dripper. They're nice. That's what when we travel, I take that with us because it's more compact and it's plastic, so it won't break.
We took it to England.
Yeah. And then you just pre-wet the grounds just enough to get wet. And I put a lid. This is the lid from the Clever Coffee Dripper. Keep there to hold the heat in and just let them soak for about 20-30 seconds to bloom, so they will bloom. They bloom. Okay, now it's bloomed. It's bloomed. So this is nice too because it has the handle so you can control it better. And you want to see on top you get a crust, so you want to wet the crust so it will brew properly. Now since I'm just making a little bit, I'll just be able to fill this up, but normally I'll do 2 or 3 batches. And that's it. As soon as that's filtered through, it'll be ready to drink. You can explore other methods of doing this, but I highly recommend roasting your own coffee and finding your own preferred way to brew it, with your French press or whatever.
So thank you all so much for watching, Doug. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this coffee journey.
Thank you for requesting
It's been an exhilarating trip.
Thank you for requesting it, too. You got to do one last thing. You got to do a shout out. You did it for one time, but she changed the name of her channel. And last time you were on here, you didn't give her a shout out. You've got to give her a shout out every time. Her name is Glitzy Girl. So shout out to Glitzy Girl.
Hi, Glitzy Girl. Shout out.
Bye.
He said bye. He said bye.